What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and if you've been playing bot lane recently, you've no doubt faced the terror and pain that is Morgana support. She is by far one of the most annoying champions I have ever played against, so here are some tips to help you deal with those pesky Morgana players. Now, the main thing about Morgana is that her kit is very linear. She has her binding, her shield, and her ultimate. Her pool is mostly useless unless she gets some AP or uses it as an execute. Just be sure not to stand in it whenever possible, but for the most part her pressure comes from her binding and her shield, of which both have fairly long cooldowns too. And the biggest thing you can do to outplay Morgana is to punish the misuse of those two abilities. If you can dodge a binding, that gives you an opportunity to go in for a trade, since she will have difficulty answering back other than through auto attacks. Think of it kind of as a blitzcrank hook. Stay within the minions to easily have them block it for you and deny her chances of hitting you. As well as you can juke perpendicular to when she throws them out and just try to expect them so that you can dodge immediately. The real difficulty though is outplaying her black shield. Now, versus the black shield of Morgana, you have three major options to outplay it, and depending on your champion, different methods may be more effective. The first is to wait for it to run out. This tactic works best with supports that can walk up to Morgana and CC her, forcing her shield, but then back off. Black shield lasts for 5 seconds but has a cooldown of around 20 seconds or so. Most supports can get in 2 full rotations of their skills in that time if you just time it perfectly, but for that method to be viable, you have to get her to use her black shield in the first place. Test the waters and judge how quick your opponents are with their shields. If they shield prematurely, then you can definitely use this tactic, or if they don't, try testing the reaction time to see if they will react well enough to your skills. In addition, you can also try to out-damage it. This only will work on some champions, but on most supports you can actually try taking an AP rune setup or maxing abilities correctly to burst down the shield. This is the best tactic on poke supports, but can also work on champions like Thresh. Things such as Thresh's hook and Lulu's glitter lance can burst down the shield versus most Morganas in one go. I wouldn't expect Morganas in gold and below or so to actually max shield to counter that, since those kind of players don't really have the matchup knowledge that it takes to do that kind of thing. So you shouldn't really have to take AP runes, but versus an experienced Morgana, taking a setup with AP Quints and Magic Pen Reds may be necessary, especially if they max shield versus you. So pay attention to the strength of their shield to see how many points they are putting into it. And besides, if you take those runes anyways and they don't max shield, it just makes it that much easier to outplay. And the last major thing you can do is to avoid the shield. Force Morgana to black shield one target by using an ability on them, and then follow that up by switching targets immediately. As long as you dodge the binding, this will work really well, and is the most reliable tactic, as Morgana will be useless to protect the target you switch onto. This is the best way to outplay her with initiation supports like Leona. You just need to save something that will let you go on a different target other than Morgana. You can also try initiating from unwarded bushes or by flashing in and simply trying to outplay her reaction time. That may not work versus more experienced Morganas, so test your opponent to see how fast they react with their black shields. Of course, all three tactics are viable for all champions, just some will be much more easier to pull off than others on each individual champion. But if you can win lane or get a lead versus Morgana, she becomes so weak because any play she will try to make can be easily stifled by your gold advantage, as well as her gold disparity will make her incredibly squishy. And just for some general tips, remember that once she hits level 6, she has kill pressure in lane versus almost any target she lands a binding on. Also, flashing over bindings is likely something you will have to do, so use either flash or any mobility you might have to dodge it, as it is kind of a slow skill shot, although it may not be that easy to dodge. And versus Morgana, you do have to pick your fights very carefully. It's incredibly difficult to set up a situation where you can outplay her skill set, but if you can, she is absurdly weak, so taking advantage of the aforementioned counterplay is key to winning lane versus her. And during teamfights, when she tries to make a play for her ultimate, you can often just focus her down or flash out of the ultimate's range, since she will take a very long time to buy Zhonya's. When she does get Zhonya's, you need to position more carefully and kite her in fights, but that isn't always a concern unless you lose lane to her. Do your best to dodge bindings in teamfights and watch out for key initiation abilities that are easy to stop with her shield. Things like Vi's ultimate and stuff like that need to be held onto versus Morgana, as she can easily shield them out of contention. So wait for her to throw out her shield before using those kind of abilities. And also a Mikhail's, Quicksilver Sash, or even a Banshee's Veil are great items versus Morgana and can easily counter her bindings. And that's pretty much it. My name is Jeremy, and that's it for my tips on how to play against Morgana support. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others on the screen right now, or stay connected at facebook.com/gamingcurios. And also I stream with some awesome commentary over at twitch.tv/Jeremy_gamingcurios, so be sure to check that out if that's the kind of thing you're into. Drop a like and make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.